Okay, now the much awaited for item number 4, discussion regarding the quality of food being served to senior residents by food providers paid for by Miami Beach, creation of an elder meals program.
Yes.
Here is Maria Ruiz.
I think a lot of people are here to speak on this. Just very briefly, I put this on the agenda after the election because we all were reaching out, as we always do, to our senior groups, many of which I see sitting in our audience today. Bienvenidos a estar con nosotros. And we wanted to put something on the agenda to provide for food, one of the basic needs of our seniors up at UNIDAD, where we have not been really focused on food programs for quite some time, and where the space exists. And clearly they open their doors to us, and the city sponsors events, and the commissioners sponsor events, and we do all kinds of things on special occasions and at election time. But I think it would be wonderful if we could fund something so that our seniors would be well fed 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and not just when people are out there campaigning.
Okay, so I think that part of this item is to service UNIDAD. We have this beautiful facility in the north end, and we have several comedores or cafeterias in the south end, and I know that the north end would like another cafeteria apart from Stella Maris, which is one on 86th and Collins and is already full and is difficult to get into. So would any of you like to come up and speak about the need for UNIDAD to have a comedor? Quieren venir aquí a hablar rápidamente, pueden hablar en español o inglés, está igual, queremos escuchar lo que tienen que decir, es por eso que ustedes han venido aquí.
By the way, we want to confirm that UNIDAD wants it. We're working under the assumption that you guys do.
Angela? Okay. Oh, state your name and your address.
14 años aquí, pero nunca me había parado aquí, estoy nerviosa. Buenos días principalmente a todos los comisionados. Mi nombre es Liliana Martínez, pertenezco hace 16 años a la parte norte, cerca a Unidad. Siempre hemos participado en política, ayudando a todos ustedes. Creo que casi todas las personas que están aquí hemos ayudado. Pero hoy no es política, hoy es necesidad. Sí, hay un caso de una señora, I'm sorry, I don't speak good English.
There's a case from a woman.
Ella recibe del Social Security $200 al mes.
She gets $200 in Social Security monthly.
Ella nunca. No.
Okay.
Tiene que irse para León Medical Center, una señora que está caída, fracturada de su cadera. La tienen que recoger para poder ir a comer.
Tienes que no tocar el micrófono y hacer
she's talking in
I'm new.
That's better. No, quédate aquí y eso te
okay.
Y así está bien.
Déjame traducirte. Okay. She's giving the example of a woman who lives in North Beach. First of all, Victor Diaz, board of directors, president of the board of directors of UNIDAD. I live at 100 South Point Drive, Miami Beach, Florida. Commissioners, it's a pleasure to be before you. I'm going to translate for her. She's giving the example, she's saying that all of the seniors have always been here for the commission politically, but they're here today not for political reasons, but for the reasons of stating an urgent need of the community, which is to have meals programs in North Beach. She's giving the example of a woman who fell and fractured her hip and is being treated at Leon Medical Center, and every day she has to be picked up by special transportation and taken all the way from her home in North Beach, where she is disabled, to a meals facility.
Sí. Entonces, pues, exhorto a ustedes para que ustedes tengan un buen, ¿cómo le digo yo? Ayuda para UNIDAD. Eso es todo. Aquí tengo otras personas que vienen de allá y quieren hablar. Gracias.
Would like, she's here to ask for your help for the UNIDAD Senior Center, and she's here with other people who would like to speak about their request.
Okay. Por favor.
Señora,
buenos días, un saludo especial para todos ustedes porque son
merecedores
de recibir nuestro saludo y muy querida, sobre todo a Mrs. González, que siempre nos acompaña en los eventos y eso nos gusta muchísimo, que cuando compartimos algún evento, ella siempre está presente.
A very
Y eso
special
me
welcome
gusta.
to all of you and a very special thank you to Commissioner
Gracias.
Gonzalez because she is always there for the senior community and always comes and participates in our events.
También tenemos a Mr. Góngora, que también lo apreciamos muchísimo, lo queremos, porque está.
We also love Mr. Gongora, we appreciate very much and who has always been there for the senior community.
Gracias.
And Mr. Simone.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Tiene que decir su nombre y la dirección donde usted vive.
Exactamente, mi nombre es Magali Ballestas, en donde estoy viviendo. Tengo 21 años de ser residente aquí de Miami Beach y comparto con todos ustedes porque son unas personas muy simpáticas, empezando desde el alcalde para con todos ustedes. Nuestros corazones están abiertos siempre para ustedes y siempre que nos han necesitado hemos estado con ustedes. Somos.
I think that's very important. She's been a Miami Beach resident and voter for 21 years. She lives in the North Beach community. She says that her heart has always been in this community, and she wants to give you all a special thanks for your service to the community. She and the elder community have always been here for all of you, and she thinks that you are deserving of a very special thanks. She also wanted to point out and thank the mayor, who has also been so welcoming to the senior community in North Beach.
Gracias.
Bueno, mi dirección es, yo vivo en la 525 77 Street,
525 77th Street is her address.
apartamento 7, Miami Beach.
Thank you.
Apartment number 7. Gracias, señora.
Okay.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Un beso para todos ustedes.
kiss to
y
all
que
of you.
siempre estén unidos en nuestros corazones. Si estamos aquí en este día hoy porque queremos pedirle un comedor que queremos para nosotros, porque tenemos la unidad aquí de la 72, donde está Reimo, que ha sido muy bueno con nosotros, muy atento, hace muchos sacrificios. Hace mucho sacrificio por nosotros. Parece que nosotros que somos de la tercera edad, parece que él fuera el padre de nosotros porque siempre nos brinda algo para nosotros y tiene una alegría siempre para atendernos a nosotros con los brazos abiertos. No tenemos con qué pagarle. La verdad que merecemos un comedor para entonces compartir nosotros. Somos un grupo bien grande aquí en Miami Beach. Así que de todas maneras queremos, así como compartimos con ustedes cuando vienen las elecciones, así queremos que ustedes compartan con nosotros un comedor que somos merecedores y merecedores.
I think that last line is worth translating for those that don't understand it. She says, besides sending you all much love and a lot of good wishes, she says, you know, the politicians always come to us at election time asking for our support, and we are always there for you. And today we are asking for your support. We deserve a meal center in North Beach, and we are asking for your help the same way that you ask us for our vote.
Les voy a decir en español. Te escuché durante la campaña y por eso pusimos esto en la agenda para hoy, porque estoy de acuerdo. Esta comunidad siempre está aquí para todos nosotros y por eso queremos estar allí para todos ustedes y darle este comedor en unidad que hablamos tanto este año. Así que es un placer tener esto en la agenda y hacerlo hacer una realidad.
Y así como nosotros nos van a responder a nosotros, también queremos pedirle que en cualquier momento que nos necesite, tenemos nuestros corazones para todos ustedes. Gracias por haberme oído y también queremos un salón para jugar bingo, que nosotros no tenemos
Una cosa por una cosa, por hoy un comedor.
necesitamos.
Solo bingo, no podemos jugar dominó también.
Pero es posible
Eso
que
es lo
busquemos el
último que les
dinero.
quiero pedir. Aquí me están diciendo que me apure porque
Ok.
los demás tienen que hablar.
Gracias,
Los demás
gracias.
quieren hablar también.
Gracias.
Gracias y un beso
Ok.
grande para todos ustedes. Que el Señor los bendiga grandemente.
May God
Gracias,
bless you all.
igualmente. Eneida,
Buenos días.
bienvenida.
Good morning.
Querido comisionado, yo vivo por 20 años en Miami Beach.
I've lived in Miami Beach for 20 years.
Cuando llegué a Miami Beach, solamente había un small place donde está UNIDAD hoy en día.
When I arrived at Miami Beach, there was only a small office where UNIDAD is today.
Que Park y Recreation es el único que siempre se ha, tú sabes, ha atendido a los seniors en North Beach. Es el
Parks and
único.
Recreation, the city's Parks and Recreation has been the only department that has always helped the seniors in North Beach.
Después de siempre pedirle a todos los que se han elegido para comisionados y alcaldes, pedirle un comedor para North Beach, nunca se ha conseguido.
After years of asking every politician that has run for office for a meals facility in the North Beach community, we've never been able to achieve it.
Después hicieron el North Beach Center, el Younger Center que está en la 72. Después hicieron UNIDAD hasta allí, esperando porque abriera UNIDAD.
At first, you built the North Beach Youth Center, and then the UNIDAD Senior Center was built after waiting for years and years for it to open,
Esperando que UNIDAD nos diera un comedor. Pero
expecting UNIDAD to be able to give us a meals
nadie ha
program.
sido posible que hiciera eso. Se lo he pedido a todo el mundo. Hasta David Richardson, cuando trabajé para él, se lo pedí.
I've asked this of all the politicians, and even when I worked for State Representative David Richardson, I asked him to make this possible.
Espero que con ustedes,
I hope that with you, this new
ayudado a
commission,
estar en esa posición, puedan ayudarnos a nosotros a tener un comedor.
that we have helped you attain this position, that you will help us achieve this dream of a meal center in North Beach. La comisionada González.
No, ustedes definitivamente tienen mi apoyo. Ahora eligieron nuevas personas y no hay tanta tensión entre, porque el problema antes de eso es que había una tensión donde la administración que teníamos y el centro de unidad, que son dos entidades separadas. ¿Entiendes? Entonces, nosotros la ciudad queríamos, pero unidad es el que maneja el centro.
Claro.
Pero yo creo que con este nuevo alcalde, con el comisionado Góngora y también con Samuelian, ya tenemos un nuevo gobierno. Ese gobierno se está llevando mejor con unidad.
Ay, no.
Pero no que la otra administración no, porque cuando hacía falta un aire acondicionado, también ellos fueron ahí, arreglaron el aire, que ahora está funcionando bien, porque se sudaba ahí antes bastante. Pero hoy, mira, ustedes seguramente tienen en este comité acá el apoyo para poner un comedor.
Sí.
Lo que tenemos que ver ahora es cómo buscamos el dinero. Y eso es el asunto que vamos a explorar ahora, y estamos
De eso
esperando
vamos a
a la
hablar.
María Ruiz para que ella nos dijera exactamente cómo lo hacemos
Do you want me to
Pero que-
translate? Do you want me to translate for you?
Sure. Oh, no. Wait. So what we were just talking about right now is, I think, look, we have a new administration here. This administration is very amenable with UNIDAD, which has the contract to manage the building at UNIDAD, because the city has some maintenance components, but the city and UNIDAD, let's just put it this way, there was no will in the last government to put a comedor and to put a cafeteria in UNIDAD. So now here we are. What we need to do at this point in time is find the funding, but we want to hear from everybody who's here waiting. So why don't we hear, thank you so much. Gracias, Eneida. Vamos a escuchar a las otras dos.
Gracias.
Gracias,
Dios
Neida.
les
Eneida.
bendiga a todos.
Sí,
Morning.
You should
Good
be-
morning.
Morning.
My English short, but I tried. I'm from Venezuela. My name is Josefina Bravo. I'm happy for the unity. Raymond is the best person. I love the program porque the activities is very, very good for the people, for the senior. I had 27 years old. Everything I active. And the comedor, this is the good idea for the Los miércoles es un día que tenemos muchas actividades y entonces empiezan a las 9:30 y hay una que termina a las 3. Entonces el comedor sería, ¿verdad?, como la guinda del batido, porque sería una necesidad. No sería un lujo, sino una necesidad para las personas. Por lo menos a mí me gusta quedarme los miércoles todo el día y sería más que todo como una colaboración muy grande. Los felicito porque veo que son unas personas que están abiertas. Tengo poco tiempo aquí, 1 año, pero me siento muy complacida, me siento bienvenida porque cambiarse no es fácil, pero me siento como en casa. Y gracias y Dios los bendiga.
Gracias.
Gracias por venir aquí, dar su testimonio. Gracias.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Special hi for Commissioner Congra. I love you.
Thank you. I love you all
And
too.
Miss Gonzalez, because every time she come for the activity, you know. So today, I please, I need, because the director, you know, the Mr. Raymond, I visited the UNIDAD in the before in the old address. So I see he's very, very important for my life, for everybody, because I talk to him every time he say, "Oh, Clyde, he's sempre está lutando por nós outros, verdade? He's very nice diretor. I love him. So my life is changed for, I went to the activity in UNIDAD, in the yoga, everything, you know, it's very important. So the comedor is very important right now, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh,
Have a
thank
nice
you.
day.
Thank you. Oh.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity to express my feelings. I just have one question, because everybody has already expressed the needed and everything else, so I don't want to add anything at that. My question is, there's any hope that we will have that program open this year? This year?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm
Okay.
about to make a motion, but I'm letting you all finish with the public
Wait.
comment.
Before we make the motion, and I know that Victor has something to say, but I would like it to be 2 separate motions. I wanted to talk to you about something right now under the current agreement. The way that it's working right now, the city built the building, right? UNIDAD built the building, but the city has to maintain it in terms of like large capital expenditures. But on day-to-day things like the lighting and fixing the bathrooms, the city is not responsible. We wanted to amend the agreement that we have with UNIDAD right now so that the city takes over maintenance. Why is that important? Because the patios outside, sometimes they get really dirty right now. There's nobody that's coming around and, pressure cleaning them. The public is using the bathrooms, and that's a lot of wear and tear on the building. And so we need to make sure that this investment that we've made along with UNIDAD, we want to make sure that the building is maintained as efficiently as possible. So if we could we have 2 separate items. We have the cafeteria, but we also would have to send to the commission a resolution that would actually amend that so that the city would now be responsible for the day-to-day maintenance of UNIDAD. And I believe that the administration understands this and understands the need for it. It's stuff like changing the ambient turtle lighting. Mm-hmm. Like they don't have the resources to do that. We would be changing the lighting, maintaining the bathrooms, and so on.
I'm ready to make the motion, but I think I'd like to hear from my colleague, Commissioner Samuelin, and I would like for former Commissioner Diaz to also speak and put his comments on.
Commissioner Victor, would you like to speak, or Commissioner?
The answer, ma'am, is yes.
Let's hear from. Let's hear from Victor.
Thank you, Commissioner Gongora and Commissioner Rosa Gonzalez and Commissioner Samuelin. As I said, my name is Victor Diaz. I live at 100 South Point Drive, apartment 3705. I'm a resident of Miami Beach for 30 years. And for the last 25 years, I have been involved with UNIDAD of Miami Beach, Inc. I want to talk about the specific issue before you. In 2004, before I had a bald spot, which is all I can see on the TV monitors today. As a younger man, I identified the fact that there is no meals facility. UNIDAD has been in the North Beach community for 25 years, serving an underserved population. Historically, the lower income and elderly population was concentrated in the south part of Miami Beach. But as demographic changes have occurred in this city over the course of decades, that population has dispersed from the revitalized South Beach area into other parts of our city. Because of the way his city developed historically, the concentration of social service programming, and particularly programming focusing on delivery of meals to the elderly, is only focused in South Beach. So we have 4 feeding centers in South Beach, none of which is north of Lincoln Road. There is not a single publicly accessible meal center for the elderly north of Lincoln Road. Stella Maris does provide a funded program, but Stella Maris is a closed program funded only to residents of the Stella Maris housing program. So in 2004, identifying that need, I started writing grants. UNIDAD started writing grants. We started off with a $50,000 grant. Between 2004 and 2010, we were able to raise $5.17 million in funding, mostly from state and federal programs, to develop and build the UNIDAD Senior Center, which is also known as the North Beach Oceanfront Center. Originally, that money was going to be devoted to buying a private building or building a private building on private land. But the city came to us and said, build it in the North Beach Open Space Park. It's the ideal location. Build us an iconic facility that can work in partnership with the band shell. And a unanimous commission approved the idea of having us build the facility with the resources that we had raised from grant funding on public land, and gave us an 80-year management agreement on that facility in exchange. So we built the city, we built the building, and I am proud that in 2014, when we fully expended the over $5 million that we had raised to create this vision of a facility where the seniors can go somewhere north of Lincoln Road, that we turned the keys over to the city. It is a city building. And that goes to Commissioner Rosen Gonzalez's point. It is not our building. It is your building. It is your property. We manage it under an 80-year management agreement. When we built the facility, it was our intention to concentrate at that facility all of the program that we have been doing for years, and we have over 20 years of track record in working with the senior community. That is why Raymond, who is also known as Raymond Adrian, who has been a 23-year employee of UNIDAD of Miami Beach, is so well known to the senior community, because he's been working with the senior community in Miami Beach for over 23 years. When we designed the building, we designed it in a way that would serve multiple functions. We designed it so that the downstairs would be an operational office for all sorts of programming, and the upstairs would be a grand open space with a catering kitchen that was specifically designed for a meals program. We applied for a grant from the Alliance of Aging and were awarded a multi-year grant to open a meals program. This right here is what it takes to operate a meals program. It's not simple, it's not easy. Maria Ruiz can tell you there's a lot of requirements that you have to jump through in order to be able to operate a state or federally funded meals program. We've jumped through all the hoops, we've complied with all the regulations. We know about some of the things, we know about all of the things that the Little Havana Nutrition Center and the Jewish Community Services that also are to be commended for the work that they do in this community, servicing the seniors, have to comply with all these regulations, some of which are mentioned in the memo that staff prepared for you about how you deliver the programs. It's not as easy as saying, we're going to give you a meal. In order for there to be continuity of funding from state and federal and local sources, you have to comply with these regulations. And so UNIDAD has been ready to comply. We, unfortunately, were not able to open the senior center in time and we lost our grant funding, or else there would have been a meals program from the first day that that facility was open. I told staff that at the time we submitted our request for proposal, we were shocked that we were the top-ranked submittee, not because we had a track record like some other organizations in this community have, but because we have a world-class facility. I can tell you unequivocally, there is no senior center in the state of Florida, and I doubt many in the East Coast of the United States that can tell you that they have such an amazing location thanks to the generosity of the city. And we have always viewed the senior center as a partnership between UNIDAD and the city of Miami Beach. And that partnership has worked well for many, many years, and I believe it will continue to work well for decades to go, long after I am gone. I want to fulfill one last dream, which is to give these seniors, I want to give these seniors what I promised them, what the city promised them, which was a meals program. So in April of 2018, we will be submitting this package of material again to the Alliance on Aging to be able to qualify for grant funding to continue to provide meals program with funding from the federal government, the State Department of the United States Department of Agriculture through its Title III programs at the UNIDAD facility. But that will not kick into action until well into 2019. And so today what you have before you is a proposal to not only start the food programming now, as soon as possible, using city resources, and to fulfill a long anticipated and long-awaited dream of the senior community, but a way to put into full use a facility that is yours, a facility that is built. It's like the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. They have come, and they are there. Over 800 registered members, thanks to the City Parks and Recreation Department and UNIDAD working in partnership together. If I may hand you this is the activities that are currently taking place. These are just the recreational and socialization activities that are taking place at the center. As you see, they take place in the morning and the afternoon, and that's what some of the speakers addressed, that in the middle of the day there's this gap, and that's the gap that hopefully the meals program will fulfill. I think that staff has done an excellent job of analyzing for you the cost of doing this program on an interim basis. I want to make one announcement, and then I'll let someone else make another announcement. One cost that we can absorb that will lower down the price of the programming is we have the ability to provide the servers, so that will drive down part of what the staff estimates the cost to be, because we have 8 seniors that are dedicated to working at the senior center to work in support of this program. I think staff has done an excellent job of evaluating the cost, and I commend Maria Ruiz of the city's Community Development Department for putting this together. I think this is an accurate assessment of the interim needs to fund this program. But what you're doing here is not only fulfilling a promise that's been made to the senior community by so many politicians over so many decades. What you're doing here is substantially increasing the likelihood that once you have a functioning program there, that the Alliance for Aging will continue to fund it without city support from 2019 into the indefinite future. So what you're doing is providing seed money that will probably multiply itself many times over. Just like that initial grant that the city of Miami Beach gave in its community development block grant of $50,000 was used by me to leverage over $5 million in funding from state and county and federal agencies. This seed money today will bring millions of dollars of grant funding to the city of Miami Beach in support of elder programming. I said I started this dream in 2004 with grant writing. We opened the center in 2014, and with your support, I believe that 2018 will be the year that we start feeding seniors at the UNIDAD Senior Center. And I want to say one last thing. The mayor said something at a public forum we had. Mayor Gelber said something at a public forum that I attended that some of you were at, which really touched me. He said that you measure a community by the way it treats its youth and its elderly. And we are a very wealthy community. I have sat where you were. I remember when the city's budget was $100 million. Today, it has multiplied many times over. I've listened to commission discussions about spending millions, tens of millions, and hundreds of millions of dollars on all sorts of needs in this city. And I commend all the uses that you've put the city resources to. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, because I will only beg for others. I will never beg for myself. I am begging you to make a small contribution to the seniors north of Lincoln Road by funding this program. $190,000 in the scheme of things to the city is a drop in the bucket. And I'd like to now recognize Sandor Scher of Ocean Terrace Holdings, who I think has something he just told me about that I think he wants to tell to the commission.
Commissioners, Victor had asked for me to come today, as he asked many others, to support this. And just to give you a little bit of background, my history with UNIDAD and with Victor goes back to 2010, when they had worked tirelessly to raise this money from state and federal sources. And at that point, they were about to embark on a very difficult construction project. And one of the things that was really special about it was that UNIDAD had gone out of their way to bring in a world-class architect so that the building, the city's building, would be something that could be enjoyed for the next 100 years, and would be something that people would say, wow, that's one of the nicest buildings. And it might be the nicest building that's ever been built in this city, on public land by the city. So it's a very dear issue to me. I don't think I come across Ocean Terrace. I don't think I discover North Beach. I don't think I find the path that I've been on for the last decade of my life without this organization. I see the way that UNIDAD has worked over the years, and I think it's important to note that the reason why that building wasn't completed and the meals program was lost because of that was really because in UNIDAD and in Victor you have somebody who's a champion for something the city is going to own. And there was never a moment where he was willing to compromise and deliver a product to the city that was going to be substandard or less than what the city had bargained for. And that's something that is incredibly unusual when we talk about how public projects get built. And I think in that regard, I also would second the fact that $190,000 is obviously a very small amount of money in the grand scheme of the city of Miami Beach, but in terms of the difference that money can make to so many people is immeasurable. So with all that being said, and certainly with my strong desire to see the city and the commission support this, I also wanted to offer on behalf of Ocean Terrace Holdings and Alex Blavatnik and myself that we would, for the first year of the operation, it would be our pleasure to contribute 10% of whatever the budget is, if it's 190, if it's 200,000, whatever the number is, but that we would do that. And obviously, Victor had no knowledge of this before I came here today because he was as surprised as you probably are. So I encourage you to please move this forward and to please support this request, and I hope that it sees its way through the budgeting process, and I hope it happens as soon as possible. We're ready to write checks, and hopefully the city is too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sandor, thank you for coming in. With the momentum we have now with Victor offering the servers and 10%, would anyone else like to come up right now?
So, wait, I believe we have, would you like to speak? And then Maria, do we have Maria Ruiz here? Oh, okay. And also we need to hear from you, Maria, so please go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank you again, like all of my seniors that came with us. Thank you for having us the opportunity to talk to you about the meal program, the comedor.
Thank you so much.
I know, and we are for sure that you are in favor of that. And thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. And then we have to.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Maria Ruiz, Director of Housing and Community Services. At the request of Commissioner Samuelian, I had done a little research in the area. He asked two specific questions. What would be the needs in the area? And there isn't, of course, the latest census data that we have is really from the turn of the century practically. But we did find that in the 33141 zip code, there were 273 people who were head of household women by themselves over the age of 65 who were living below the poverty level. So that gives us a good starting base of understanding what the potential needs assessment could be for the area. The second question that was asked of us was to identify if there were any municipalities that had taken the lead in funding such a program. And in fact, there were. West Miami, Hialeah, Hialeah Gardens, Miami Springs, and Sweetwater all fund or partially fund meal programs tied to their facilities.
Okay. Thank you very much. So would somebody... Oh, yes, of course, Commissioner Samuel.
First up, thank you, Ms. Ruiz. That's very, very helpful. And thank you to the residents coming out. Gracias, mis amigos. I support a meals program in North Beach, so I'm going to be a yes and happy to move this to the full commission. I do look forward to the discussion as it relates to federal funding and how that factors in. And I do think, as a matter of procedure, this should go to our Finance Committee where we can refine the needs of how many folks. But I'm definitely going to be a yes to move it to the Commission.
So would we be moving this to the Commission or to the Finance Committee?
I've been thinking about it because I've had a long time. This would be my motion for today. Number one, that we move this with a favorable recommendation from this committee to the February 14th Commission meeting to fully fund the meal program at UNIDAD as provided for in our agenda of $190,000 plus the additional $40,000 cost if necessary to implement the additional programming. And we'll take Sandor's money too. And number two, if UNIDAD does obtain the funding for the food program back from the OAA or another federal center, that we hold this funding for senior programming and that we don't release the money back to the general budget. I recommend that we do it at the commission meeting directly in February because we are also amending our budget at the February commission meeting, our operating budget. There's a number of items that are coming back to us in February where people or different departments are asking for more money, for more projects, and I know that we will find this money as well. I don't want to delay it. It would be my goal that we could get this open by late February. So I would like to fully move it forward.
Okay. We have a second on that motion?
Sure, I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.